Hi, everyone, and welcome to Food Farms and Chefs. And I am so honored to be able to introduce Scoop DeVille's Spencer Phillips, who is joining us from Philadelphia, from his shop, as you can see in the background. Spencer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
It is National Hot Chocolate Day. That is why we're celebrating. So I know you have one of the frozen hot chocolate ice creams that are sought after in Philadelphia. So, we'll get into that in a little bit, but why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in the ice cream business in Scoop DeVille?
Sure. I don't think Mother Nature got the memo on it being National Hot Chocolate Day. It's pretty nice out today. Our door is actually open to the shop as I speak, which we don't do often in January, that's for sure. Yeah, so a little bit about myself, Scoop DeVille. Scoop DeVille has actually been around since 1989. I would have been 4 at the time. So I'm not the original owner. I was a longtime customer. I went to the University of Pennsylvania here in Philadelphia. There was a couple locations on campus. In fact, my first date with my wife now, at the time we were just, knew each other in college, but our first date, we got some Scoop DeVille delivery. So that's kind of the early connection, but we were very big fans, big supporters and regular customers for sure. And it kind of at some point hit me. I've always been looking to run my own business. Ice cream has kind of been in my blood for years. I have great memories. Getting ice cream with my grandmother, who actually my daughter is named after, Nori, named after my grandmother, who I had these chocolate marshmallow ice cream memories with. And so when I kind of brought it to my family, everyone was like, "Of course you would open an ice cream shop. That's in your blood." So the idea was there, just how passionate I was about it. Spoke with the previous owners and just developed a relationship there, and eventually partnered up, and years later took over the business. So I've now been the owner for, I guess, coming on 10 years now.
Which is an honorable, thing to reach too with any business, especially in the food and hospitality business. It's not always the easiest thing to maintain, a long running food place because trends happen and people get disinterested, but ice cream is definitely one of the places that everybody's going to love forever. And even through the pandemic, you guys have survived, so it's an amazing, I applaud you for being able to maintain Scoop DeVille for so long. Now, what, like, because you obviously like have some very tantalizing scoops of ice cream, like you see it on online, on social media. So what goes into creating the different ice creams? Because I know that you did maintain the same flavor profiles like initially when you took over the business, right down to the fact that you actually kept some of the same employees when you moved into the new building when you took over. But what is some of the process when you're building the different flavors?
I'm impressed. You have done your research, or I'm not sure where you got the knowledge, but all that was accurate. Yeah, so we do a couple things. When I took over the business, we were not making our own ice cream. What we're famous for is what we call custom blends, or our signature blends would be what are on the menu. And I usually describe it to someone who hasn't been in the store as, picture Cold Stone where they're hand folding the ice cream together. Picture Dairy Queen where they're making the blizzard. It's similar to those as far as the process. The end result is just very different. So we take a base flavor like vanilla. We add multiple ingredients from our list of over 80, including I think we have 4 or 5 flavors of cookie dough, all sorts of candies and fruits and nuts. And we put it all together, and then our machine looks almost like a drill. And so this sort of pulverizes or blends, as we call it, everything into a new flavor of soft serve. So it's not a typical soft serve where it's pumped full of air and stands up on its own, and is smooth flavor the whole way through. It's kind of between that and a blizzard where it's not chunky, but it's definitely textured. And then every single bite has the flavor of all of the ingredients. So if you tell me, chocolate chip cookie dough and peanut butter and strawberries. Every single bite is going to taste like a cookie dough peanut butter and jelly sandwich, basically. Um, and so we almost call it micro batching. So every single customer can get a different flavor, and we can have a million people in line, and every single person have a different flavor. However, we do also now make all of our own product in house. 100% of our ice cream and dairy-free and vegan desserts are made in house. And so that's kind of a whole nother thing. But the cool thing is we can kind of experiment on these micro batches a little bit, where we say, I'd love to do a pistachio and Nutella flavor. Does that go together? And rather than having to waste a whole batch, we can make one cup and kind of tinker with it a little bit, and then take it to our batch machine, our batch freezer, and batch out a full tub of it. And so we do sell hard scoops of ice cream in that manner. But without question, kind of what we're famous for, our signature product is that blend.
Gotcha. And I know Jean is currently quiet. So Jean, I don't know if you have any questions for Spencer as well.
Spencer, so now that you're doing all these wonderful micro blends and all, what are you seeing in, the consumers? What are they going after now? A lot of people play with savory. A lot of people just, double down on sweet, sweet, sweet. A lot of people are going for texture. What are you finding today that people are really like looking for and seeking out in ice creams?
It's a very good question, and it's changed over the years. One thing that definitely has not changed is peanut butter is always a leader. I'm a big peanut butter fan, so I just assumed that peanut butter was always the best. But from what I've seen, pretty much every menu we have, the hard scoop ice cream, the soft serve blends, the milkshakes, the vegan products, peanut butter seems to lead the charge. That holds true for sure. But something we launched years ago, and obviously you've seen brands like Halo Top hop on board. The low calorie, less indulgent kind of ice cream or frozen yogurt. We created years ago, probably 8 or 9 years ago, a low calorie menu that it's all frozen yogurt under 250 calories. And so that's something that has definitely hung around, and something we see people lean towards, especially beginning of the year when everyone's on their diet. We see that. We have a pretty good gluten-free offering, and that seems to, obviously there are people with actual allergies, but it seems to be trendy as far as dieting. So we see that. Vegan is probably the biggest one right now. We also do wholesale, and so we make tubs of ice cream for restaurants, other ice cream shops, a number of different places, and we've found a real success with vegan restaurants because it's just exploding. There's so many different vegan options out there, and I will tell you, we've become, myself and several of our managers have become big fans of vegan products. I used to say, if you're being vegan, why don't you eat a salad? Why would you want to have something like a cheeseburger? And the fact is, they're just like us, right? They want to have indulgent things that are delicious. They just also want to, like animals and be nice to animals. And so, that's what we've found our vegan products are selling much better when it's something that's loaded with cookie dough and brownies and peanut butter and the indulgent things, and not necessarily, a fruit-based product.
It's funny you tell that story. Many years ago, I was doing an ice cream festival at Penn's Landing and helping coordinate it all. And I've always been a big advocate of, donating stuff to homeless shelters and things like that. So I was going around at the end and asking if people wanted to, any ice cream that was left over, if they wanted to do, I would take them over to the shelter and get them, and I promised them I would get them their buckets back. Knowing that the buckets are oftentimes a big cost. And at that point in time, I had 3 or 4 people say, "Well, what would homeless people? Why do they want ice cream?" And it was very much like, what do you mean? Why would they want ice cream? I don't like. They're no different than us. They want to indulge and enjoy. Just like you were saying there. Just because they're homeless or down on their luck or hungry doesn't mean that they don't love ice cream. And I remember showing up at the shelter with about 45-gallon buckets of ice cream And it was the one time that I couldn't load the stuff in fast enough because they were just helping. They had a big line out front, bringing the ice cream in. What a wonderful feeling it was to provide that. So, just exactly what you said. Just because you're vegan doesn't mean you don't want rich, decadent things.
Yeah, but everybody wants the delicious ice cream in whatever form they can get it. Absolutely.
Right. Now, on the flip side of that, I would always joke with my daughter who is a vegan that, well, why do we have to call it ice cream because there's no cream in it? But it's okay there too. I just do that to pick on her. But where do you see what new things? So we got vegan, we got gluten free, which congratulations, you're covering all the allergy bases, and you're really doing a phenomenal job at that, and really beating a lot of other companies to that market. What do you see as next?
That's a really good question. So many things tend to be trends, right? We saw the frozen yogurt trend, what was that, 10, 15 years ago? And frozen yogurt still exists, but it's not like it was. We've seen the rolled ice cream, whatever they call it, where you're pouring it on the thing and freezing it and then rolling it up. We saw that, which is still trendy in some places, but I think for the most part, we've seen that die down after, pretty quick, a year or two. So I think part of it is what's a trend and what's going to stick around. We saw edible cookie dough. We still sell a really good amount of edible cookie dough, but it's a supplemental product for us. It's not. I think the places that led with the edible cookie dough have started to die down as well. I think that was a trend. We've launched a lot of things that have definitely stuck around, but they're not necessarily like new categories. I would say we're taking what people love and making it better. So we have some really good sundaes, that are doing really well. We recently started selling ice cream cakes in kind of in the individual portions. We call them an ice cream cake cup. Those are selling really well. People love ice cream cakes, but you can't really buy one whole cake for yourself. We're doing these different layered desserts that are really cool, like layered sundaes. And so typically we use our signature blend. So we do the signature blend and then one of the toppings and then the blend and then the toppings and then the blend again. And so just as you're working your way through it, you get the chunks, you get the great flavor. And those have been very popular as well. So it's hard to say like what's next. I will tell you that I think people are continuing to be adventurous. In our wholesale meetings, we really pitch some wild things. One of the big things we like to pitch is ketchup ice cream. We're on to something. We think that if you dip your French fries in ketchup ice cream, it's phenomenal. A lot of us as kids would dip French fries into Frosties. And so we said, okay, well, that's a great combination, the sweet and the salty, but what if we put the flavor combination in there too? It's one of those things that people always give us the strangest looks, and then they try it with their French fries, and I mean, it's mind blowing. So we're trying a lot of different kind of fun things like that. We've done pickle ice cream, which we still pitch from time to time. We've done a buffalo chicken dip ice cream. There's cornbread ice cream has been really, really popular when we're talking to like a barbecue restaurant or a southern style restaurant. That does really well. So we're just trying to kind of think outside the box, but not just to be trendy, but things that we actually think people will enjoy and they'll want to try. Would you go to the restaurant and get ketchup ice cream with your French fries every single time? Probably not. But I think it's something that could live on an appetizer menu or a sides menu for a while, because I think it's something that people would continue to want to try.
I love it. What a wonderful thing, and I like that people are starting to adventure into savory types of ice cream and different things like that. So what a wonderful aspect. Some of the best things I've ever had in my life, been like tomato, like a roasted tomato cotton candy, and I've had a roasted tomato ice cream, and those savory things that you could blend in there. So that's really, really brilliant, and I'm intrigued. I have to come down and try that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to double down on that, because I am one of the people that loves like one of my guilty pleasures is doing the frosty, the chocolate frosty with the French fry, because I like that sweet savory together combination. And like I've been known to like take a little bit of extra salt and kind of like, add, drizzle it, just because I like the sweet and salty so much when I'm eating it. So I would 100% try the ketchup one. But circling back to the frozen hot chocolate ice creams, while we have about 4 minutes left, are you doing anything special as far as, promotions for the frozen hot chocolate? And, are there different ways that people can enjoy it because of your process and doing the mix-ins?
So we launched regular hot chocolate a handful of years ago during the winter months, right? Ice cream shops, seasonal businesses always looking for ways to get through, the off season. And so gourmet hot chocolates is somewhere that we found some success, and it goes, it goes along with what we're doing already, right? We can flavor the hot chocolate in any way, salted caramel or s'mores or whatever may make sense. And it goes with the cookies we offer. It can go with ice cream. And we now have on the menu kind of a combination of the two, where we're doing a hot chocolate float. So basically, it's a gourmet hot chocolate, and we drop a scoop of ice cream into it. So that's pretty cool. But so I guess we just kind of thought that people love hot chocolate, and we know they love ice cream and milkshakes and things like that. So we decided to kind of combine the two. So we've now had on our menu for some time a frozen hot chocolate milkshake. And that sells really well. It's been available year round. We've done some cool events with it too. We did a Christmas in July this past summer. It was actually an event with a local company that was promoting something, and so we did a lot of these little mini frozen hot chocolate milkshakes, which went great. It was kind of perfect for a Christmas in July event, which was neat. And we just continue to try new things. Every month, at least during the winter, we do different seasonal menus. And so peppermint tends to be a flavor around December and January. So a lot of times we'll do a peppermint hot chocolate, either a hard scoop flavor, or it could be one of our sundaes. So we do these, we call them partially baked cookie sundaes. So it's a half baked cookie on the bottom and then ice cream and toppings on top of that. And so it gives us a lot of flexibility to do different fun flavors there. And hot chocolate tends to be something that really all winter long, we're doing variations on that. That can kind of be in any form, whether it's that milkshake, that sundae, and so on.
All right. And as we wrap you up, because we do have to let you go, where can people find you online and, in person?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm sitting in our our biggest store here on Walnut Street, 1109 Walnut Street. Definitely our flagship, and where you'll see the most amount of offerings, if you will. And then our South Street location is our newest location. It's 538 South Street, right at the corner of 6th and South. We try to mirror it with the Walnut Street location, but may not have some of the seasonal offerings. And we're open 7 days a week all year, pretty much, and open very late. Our Walnut Street stores are open until 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Instagram is probably the best place to find us, at Philly Scoop DeVille. And then, of course, Facebook as well. It's just Scoop DeVille Ice Cream. So those are the best places. We're on all of the delivery sites, of course. We do a ton of delivery. Our website has tons of offers, including catering and cakes and the wholesale I mentioned. So that's just scoopdeville.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Spencer, for joining us on Food Firms and Chefs.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
And Jean said thank you too.
Thanks, Jean.
All right. And we will be right back after this short break. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Food Firms and Chefs. I have the honor to introduce Joe Calderone, who is the creative director at Serendipity 3 in New York City. And Joe, thank you for joining us on Food Farms and Chefs.
Thank you for having me. So great to be here.
So, Joe, you have a job as a creative director, or just any type of involvement in Serendipity 3 that is probably, one of the jobs that anybody who knows anything about the ice cream business would really want to have. You are maybe the most famous ice cream store in America, and if you're not, you really should be. Um, but you're so much more than that as well. And the things that people don't understand about Serendipity 3 that I probably want to point out that you also have great food and you do it in a really cool setting that, you're just going through and just finishing up, the renovations, but you also, distribute nationwide and the you have a Guinness Book of World Record, and you are famous for the people who come to eat there. But most importantly, you have a product that no one else can compete with. Everybody tries, a lot of people do it, made famous in movies, made famous in everything, but that is your frozen hot chocolate. So tell us a little bit about how you got started with Serendipity 3 and your history with them and a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, I've been with Serendipity now for over 36 years. Um, I just love working with the brand. And of course, I love the iconic frozen hot chocolate that was way in the forefront of blended drinks and has been around for almost 69 years.
Wow.
That's an amazing thing. Wow. 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 And so good, the frozen hot chocolate, that it has become the drink of choice for a lot of celebrities when they're in New York. A lot of people that have gone there and tried it. And if I'm correct in my information, even an investor in the company, came down, had one of your amazing frozen hot chocolates, some of your things, and Selena Gomez then came back and said, "I want to be involved in this because this is that good." But
Very true, very true. Selena has been a customer for many years. I remember her coming to the restaurant with her parents when she was a young Disney star, and she's fell in love with the brand over the years and is now a partner.
it's a wonderful story, that to see that, and somebody who just really bought in because of her love of the product. It wasn't just, well, this is going to be successful. I'm going to make a lot of money at this. So, you know, let's, do that. This is about somebody who just believed and loved in the product. And, what a better endorsement than that. Obviously, your product and your brand has been made famous by many celebrities and movies and shows that are filmed there. My wife is always, when we go to New York, we got to go to Serendipity 3, and absolutely, I'll do that anytime you want. I want to come for the ice cream. She wants to come for the iconic, stars and everything else that has appeared there. But you also have a little bit of history with one Jacqueline Onassis Kennedy at one point in time too. Tell our listeners about that.
Yeah, well, Jackie Kennedy came here as a young senator's wife before she was in the White House. She continued to come. She even once asked for the recipe when she was first lady for the frozen hot chocolate. And because it was such a top secret recipe, she was denied the recipe.
I love that. That's absolutely, just because it's the White House doesn't mean you get to have my recipe. That's wonderful. Thank you. That just warmed my heart to know that people stood up for the integrity of the product and said, "No, I understand you can buy it from us and we'll ship it, but no." That's just wonderful to hear. So you just underwent a big renovation in the original store. What was that process? How did that? What did you change?
During COVID, we were closed for almost a year, and we wanted to take advantage of that downtime to do some upgrades, like put in a new kitchen and we revamped the bathrooms, and we maintained all the integrity of Serendipity. The iconic second floor dining room, which was the parlor room of a brownstone. So we have this marble fireplace and intricate wood moldings. So we renovated and fixed everything to perfection, and opened in July of 2021 to great fanfare and such a great reception from our fans and our customers, that we're thrilled with our new look and our new revamp.
One of the things that I love about Serendipity 3, yeah, you just beautiful, beautiful redo of the building. But there's still a lot of the Tiffany lamps and everything's around there, and you really maintained all that. You also have a lot of care and effort put into the dishes and the china and the style of Sunday dishes and everything that goes with that. Like, there's no detail that doesn't, that is thrown by the wayside. You really do focus on everything about making the experience one that is just, so heartwarming, just something to reminisce about for years. Like, going to Serendipity 3 is an experience. It is not just going for some ice cream or frozen hot chocolate. And you really touch on all the senses, the nostalgia of, dishes from years gone by and things like that. On the flip side, your burgers and your food is fabulous too. So,
Thank you.
you do an incredible job with all that. What does it take from your aspect of the creative director side to really maintain that and keep it current when a lot of people want to change and grow with the times, and you're going and holding steadfast and say this is an experience? Is that a tough battle?
It is always a tough battle because you want to make the right changes. You don't want to change what people want. You want to kind of just revamp things and even like put a twist on things just to keep it current. So we are it's something that's a constant, not I wouldn't say battle because it's fun, but just a constant effort in keeping current and keeping relevant, yet maintaining that sense of history that Serendipity is all about.
Well, you do an incredible job at that. So Serendipity is listed for a Guinness Book of World Records. For our listeners who don't know, can you give us a little insight into that?
Sure. We actually have 9 Guinness World Records. Everything from the world's largest wedding cake to the world's most expensive plate of French fries. We've done it all. And there's something to be said about getting a Guinness World Record, because a lot of people don't realize that it's a big effort, and we take it very, very seriously. You can take expensive ingredients, throw them together, and call it the most expensive. But we work tirelessly in making sure that everything is the best quality and the best flavor in the world, to truly make it a Guinness World Record.
And a lot of people don't understand what it takes to get Guinness to certify that and to do that as well. We were involved in a project right at the end of COVID where we made the world's largest cheesesteak. But because we did it, the people planning it did not want to go through the process of applying. It all went to the wayside, because Guinness was not there to certify it. Therefore, boom. I mean, we created a cheesesteak that was 3 city blocks long.
Wow. Wow.
But Guinness wasn't there to certify it. So while it looked really good and it was a really wonderful thing, nope, didn't happen. And but it's wonderful. So I appreciate the effort you guys put into it. What is
Thank
your
you.
favorite thing at Serendipity? What is the one thing you're going to go for 9 out of 10 times when you're there?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that we have one or maybe the best burger in New York. And we do a truffle burger that is out of this world. And that is one of my true go-to menu items that I have to have at least once a week.
I'm very jealous. I know the burger you speak of, and the fact that you can have one once a week. I'm extremely jealous. I'm a burger person. I love a great burger, and you are spot on. I don't know a better burger place in New York City, and you can then finish up with amazing, you know, desserts and frozen hot chocolate. But yeah, that's what I love about Serendipity 3 is that I can go for the complete meal. And it's just a really wonderful experience. And now I am so jealous, and I now want one of your burgers so bad I may have to take a train to New York this week. Um, but okay. What are the crowd favorites now this time of year as we come into Valentine's Day? We're in a nice warm winter. What's everybody buying?
Well, everybody has to have the frozen hot chocolate when they come. And a little fun fact, we serve just as many during the winter than we do in the summer. So it's not about the season. It's about the dish. So people come here, they have to have frozen hot chocolate. And as you mentioned, a lot of people don't realize that we have really good food too. We have great burgers, foot-long hot dogs, mac and cheese, sandwiches, salads. We've even come up with a vegan version of our frozen hot chocolate.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Now, see, I have to bring my daughter because that's right up her alley. And you also have the Golden Opulence Sundae. For our listeners who don't know, fill them in on this.
Sure. Well, I created the Golden Opulent Sundae in honor of Serendipity's 50th golden anniversary back in 2004. And it was definitely a labor of love. And it really got us world recognition for this dish. It's like an edible piece of art. It's housed in a Baccarat crystal goblet. It's Tahitian vanilla ice cream infused with Madagascar vanilla, rolled in 23 karat edible gold. There's candied fruit from Fauchon in Paris. There's the world's most expensive hot fudge made from Amade Porcelana chocolate from Tuscany. It's topped with a gilded sugar flour that takes about 8 hours to make. It even has the world's only dessert caviar, which is a low salt caviar that's infused with passion fruit and Grand Marnier. And of course, you got to do it, but it's eaten with a 18 karat gold spoon.
What a wonderful experience. I could see engagements and anniversaries and so many things built around that Sunday in itself. And people wonder why, you get the celebrity traffic you get, and it's dishes like that that bespeak to, opulence and just creativity. You have an amazing job. Like, you get to spend time, and it's almost like money is not an object in your creativity. You can search out the best of the best and create wonderful things with that. What an incredible job that you have. you know so in all your years there, if I had to say, what is one of your, give me one of your top three moments of, somebody walking in, somebody ordering something, or getting done something, whether it be the world's largest wedding cake, but give me one of your top three.
Let's see. There's so many to choose from. I would say one of my top three would be teaching Oprah how to make frozen hot chocolate and having her put it on her bucket list of and and having Serendipity as a place, as one of the places you must go, on a bucket list. So that's got to be one of the top.
We have one of them. I can relate. We have one of them in Philadelphia. Well, he's now in Atlanta, but in Philadelphia, we had a place. Delilah Winder had a mac and cheese that Oprah had featured as the best mac and cheese in the country and put on that bucket list. And what an exciting thing for Oprah to recognize that. That's a very, very, very cool story. So for people coming to New York City, it's not just as simple as walking into Serendipity 3. Tell our listeners about, how people can get reservations and where they can find you and everything that goes with that.
Sure. Well, we accept walk-ins, but we encourage people to make reservations so they don't have to wait, because sometimes we have a pretty long line to wait outside. So you can make reservations on resi.com, or you can visit our website, serendipity3.com, and come on in. We encourage everybody to come on down.
I want to encourage our listeners, if you're, from New York, obviously go anytime. If you're planning to go to New York, whether it be for theater, me personally, go with my wife. We go to theater. Let's go to Serendipity 3. And, it just kind of completes the, my choices are two. It's Carmine's or Serendipity 3. Going to one of the two, you could never go wrong. Anything new in the horizon, anything that our listeners may be excited to find out besides, new items coming out or anything like that?
Like I mentioned before, we're always creating. We're always in research and development for new things, and coming up on the very close horizon, we will soon serve our 30 millionth frozen hot chocolate.
Oh,
wow. That is even in a city the size of New York, that is an amazing feat. Congratulations on that. And I know just what you do, that when that occurs, it will not be a small thing.
Oh no. You have to be on the lookout for who that person who's going to drink that 30 millionth drink.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing, and that's something you're going to go down, and it'll be around forever, and everybody will pick it up and run with it. So, absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, listeners. I kid you not, Serendipity 3, Oprah is right. It is a bucket list location. The list of celebrities is wonderful. It's been featured in movies and TV, but go have a burger, have a frozen hot chocolate, enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us, sharing your story. I am so jealous of your job. It is ridiculous.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you for having me.
It was our pleasure.
Thank you so much. And
okay, thank you.
And stay tuned for after this next break. Go.
Everyone have a wonderful week. Congratulations to the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. You can find me at IBFOODIE2 at yahoo.com, or across social media at Gene Blum or IBFoodie2.
And you can find me at AR Policus, or if you would like to be a guest or sponsor on the show, you can email me at arpolicus@gmail.com. Go Birds!